it has profile, it has notes. So nicotine level is quite low, but there is a profile to it. There are notes that you can pick up. It's an entertaining cigar, it's not a boring cigar. Yeah, we had good construction, lovely ash. The amount of smoke that it produces is nice. Yeah, the wrapper is a bit rough, but it doesn't mean that it's a bad quality wrapper. It's just that that's how that leaf is. You find similar in other cigars as well. This cigar is not just the branding, but the profile, the flavors, the way that it smokes, the story behind it is really nice. Hey everyone, we're back. We're episode 6 now, and today we're going to be smoking something a bit different again. It is a cigar from Spain, and I'm here joined with my good friend Kurosh once again. How is it going?
Good. Looking forward to trying this.
Well, there's your
Kolumbus.
cigar. Now, we've smoked already this brand, which is from the Canary Islands. We smoked the Azul, which is a light body cigar. But this time we have this one, which is the Negro. As you can see, it's a bit darker as well. Negro means black. So they have a range of black, blue, and red. What were you saying, sorry?
Smells really nice.
Yeah.
What is the red called?
Rojo.
Oh.
Yeah. So let's light the cigar up. Start some cutting and stuff, and once it cuts, I'll let you know a little bit about the cigar. So as I mentioned, it is a Kolumbus Negro Robusto, the wrapper from Nicaragua, the binder from Indonesia, and the filler is from La Palma. So it uses a native to La Breña, to the Canary Islands leaf, which is called La Breña. They've named the plant after the place where it is grown. Produces a very specific profile that it is hard to find in other cigars because of the whole, terroir. So as this tobacco is being grown in this area, it will have profiles from that area. Now, not many manufacturers are using this tobacco. The production is not big. So when you smoke this cigar, you're gonna find few notes or profile that is not your typical profile. Again, it's still a nice, delicious cigar, and I want to see what Kurosh has to say about this one. Because the blue one you enjoyed, but it was very mild. That one is a morning cigar.
This one is already the first puff.
And this already has...
It's a lot more spicy.
So they are handmade long filler cigars from Spain. And that's something, different. Regularly you get cigars from the Caribbean, but this being made in Spain is a bit different.
Made in Europe. So are all the plants grown on the island?
No, so only the filler plant, which is La Breña, grown in the island. It gives it takes from the terroir, so it's a very volcanic island, so it takes from there. Construction of these cigars is always nice.
And what's the history of this company? Have they been around for a long time, or are they fairly new?
No, they've been around for a while. Obviously, in Spain, in the Canary Islands, they started in the Canary Islands, then they expanded from there. But they're over the Middle East and throughout Europe. We have them here in the UK, toropuro.com. They've been around for a while. They're not a big brand, they're a very boutique brand. So they have limited quantities because the amount of tobacco they can grow as well is not a lot. So they have to work with that. And all the range has filler from La Breña, which is their thing basically.
And that is across their ranges, the fillers, that's their thing. Local filler.
Yeah, in this one we have the wrapper, which is from Nicaragua, and the binder is Indonesian. So we have a big range of profiles in this cigar, I think. But yes, I can feel, already the tobacco in it is peppery, very nice. But it's a nice strong. It's not that is, when you have tobacco that is not well aged, it has a really nice tobacco taste, very clean, no ammonia or anything.
I think this would actually taste nice with some whiskey or some heavy spirit.
Some rum as well, with a nice steak. I really enjoyed these cigars. Again, it's a different profile, similar to the Andullo, which the Andullo is using a Dominican leaf that is, the way that it's processed is called Andullo, that's why it's called Andullo the cigar. It holds all the oils. But the way that Kolumbus makes the cigars with the filler from La Breña, that profile, that volcanic island gives a really, really nice profile, which I haven't, found in any other cigar.
Are there many European manufacturers of cigars?
In the Canary Islands, there's a couple. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think there's about 3 left. There were more factories, but because of taxes and all of this regulations, they had to close down, and Kolumbus has survived. Where they make the cigars, I think, is one of the oldest places in the island that make cigars. So they're trying to keep it alive. But some of the other brands, because they were just local, they had to close. Also, the problem that they have is prices. So a cigar that is manufactured in the Dominican Republic, because of wages and how cheaper things will be there to the European market, is hard to compete with those prices, basically at wholesale price, for example. But I think they do an amazing work. It's a really nice cigar. The quality is there. The ash is a light gray ash, so it's very nicely fermented. But this is also from I was listening to one of the guys talk about it, and due to the salinity in the water, because there's an island and the sea water and stuff, and the volcanic soil, you get a really, really nice gray ash.
Like a lighter ash.
Yeah, very light ash, yeah.
So how does the aging of cigars work?
Regularly, they will age for about 3 to 5 months.
Yeah.
And that is to help the cigar settle itself, because all the tobacco has been, handled and stuff, and to release any, so it's like a last fermentation as well. So any ammonia, any impurities, any waste can go on that time. But then you have cigars that are aged for a year and a half after they're made. Or you have cigars that were like limited editions, Cubans, for example, and people have kept them in humidors for 10, 15, 20 years. Those would be aged cigars or vintage cigars.
So what happens as time goes by? Is it like wine? Do they improve, or does it have diminishing returns after a certain period of time? Say, if you keep it for like 3 years, then after 3, I don't know.
From the research I've done and the people I've talked and the books I read and all of this, there's like different opinions. Some people say no, it doesn't. I actually think, I from what I understand, it depends on how the cigar started. So if you have a strong body cigar with good flavors and it was already very clean, very nice cigar to start with, it will age nicely. And the stronger it is, there will be more flavors towards the end. Because remember, although we're keeping the leaf alive, the oils alive in a humidor, the flavors we're picking up are from those oils being burned. So the longer, the less oils there will be in the leaf. And I find, I've smoked a cigar that was 15 years old. And obviously I didn't smoke it when it came out. But the person who I smoked it with told me he smoked it then, he smoked it now, and he has lost a bit of that potency. But you can still pick up some of the notes. So yes, there is a diminishing. It all comes as well to how well you keep him. Because if you keep him in a bit cooler environment, then you're reducing the speed of aging. So a cigar that is kept at a cool, like in Europe, for example, just an example, yeah? In Europe, my age a bit slower than one in the Dominican Republic.
So can we freeze a cigar?
Yes. So actually, when the cigar, the factories will freeze it, and the distributors will normally freeze it as well.
And that's because of to kill the pests.
Yes. So there's a little bug in the tobacco leaf that is microscopic, and it lays an egg. Sorry, the egg is microscopic, so we cannot see it. When they're making the cigars, they cannot see it. And one of the ways that they prevent the egg from hatching and destroying the cigar, because it's a little larvae that eats the tobacco. That's what it does. So you get little holes on your cigar sometimes. That's that larvae that ate it. So what they do is they freeze it, and when they freeze it, the eggs will.
This is in the factory.
In the factory, but also distributors
freeze it as well.
Sometimes do it as well.
So did you for Toro Poro? Do you freeze your cigars ever?
Here we give them a last 3 days freeze.
Who is we?
I
You do yourself, yeah? So that's free. So the manufacturer and the distributor freezes the
Yes.
cigars, yeah?
The reason why I do it, not all distributors, from what I understand, I think most of them do it. I do it is, although the cigars come from reputable places, factories, if they missed one or something, I don't want to run the chance, or I don't want a customer to put this cigar in their humidor, because the larvae will eat this cigar and then just go for the whole
It
humidor.
doesn't damage it if you, how many times you...
No, it's all right. That's not a problem. Obviously, there is a way you can just go and, for example, you can do it at home. So what I say sometimes is, if you have a large humidor at home, you can do two things. The best thing is have a separate humidor, where when you go buying cigars or your gifted cigars, put the new cigars into that humidor for a month or two, and then you'll be able to see, look, there's pest in here, the whole thing is gone. But it's better to lose 5-10 cigars in a little humidor than losing 1,000 cigars in your big humidor.
But how do you know how long, what's the period that they stay?
Well, if you leave it for a month or a month and a half,
but is there like a science to it? Like,
well, when the conditions are right,
it will pop out.
It will, yeah.
Yeah, so
and then you start seeing.
So it can't be a month or 6 months or a year.
Yeah, no, it will happen quite soon.
Soon,
Yeah,
if it's there.
yeah.
Okay.
If there's an
It's
infestation.
not like they're hibernating.
Yeah, waiting for you to change humidor. We got you. But you can freeze them at home as well.
But advice, say if one of the viewers goes to Cuba or the Caribbean, buys a box of cigar, comes back, do you advise that cigar to go
Definitely.
Definitely.
Especially if you're buying, you shouldn't, but a lot of people do. They'll buy like on the beach, when they're in the beach, and they might want to just smoke them there, and then you have 1 or 2 left, and you put them in your humidor. You don't know, you're not buying from a reputable seller, so you don't know where those cigars were made. You don't know if there was a proper factory that has gone through the whole process.
But say if you go into Habanos and buy from a reputable...
Well, normally, like I said, the factory will do a freezing process,
But
or there's I think there's 2 more ways of killing the egg. Okay, there's like a little pill that they put, releases some gases, kills the oxygen in the room, so any living thing will die. But then they have to freeze them because the eggs were not living yet. So there is a couple of ways of doing it. But what I say is, look, if you go on a holiday, or you buy, or even if you get gifted cigars, you don't know if those cigars have been contaminated by other cigars. Get a Ziploc bag, maybe 2-3, just put your cigars well sealed, because the thing with cigars is they absorb smells from around. So yeah, just double or triple pack it, okay, and then put it in your freezer for a week. It will be fine. Just take it out, leave it. Here in the UK, you can just leave it on your table as long as it's dry, and leave it inside the bag. But as long as it's dry, there's no sunlight or next to a radiator or anything like that, just leave it to like room conditions, and then the next day you can just put it in your humidor. It's fine. But yeah, it is recommended when you're getting like random cigars. The easiest way is just to keep 2 humidors. If you are a person like me, I have a lot of cigars of my private collection. I have 3 humidors. So I have one which is like new cigars, one that's been there for like a month and a half, and then they pass.
So question, if the cigar has infestation, so will you throw it away, or can you still smoke it?
You can still smoke it, but
you're smoking the bugs.
Yeah.
But
and then you have holes in it. I have never done it, but then you also have holes. So
but
when
you're all smoking the eggs right now, yeah?
Maybe. Well, cracked eggs, because they've been frozen. If there is any, doesn't mean that there is. We don't know if the plant has been infected.
Okay. So
until the eggs hatch. Like, oh damn, it was infected.
Not necessarily. I don't want to freak you out.
Yeah. So we don't know, but if there were, they will be cracked already because of the freezing. And smoking a cigar that has been it's got the holes and stuff, I don't think you will enjoy it, or you can't, because you have holes. So when you tend to take a draw, you're gonna lose air. So yeah, I don't think I've never tried it. Most people just throw them away, but this is nice. Yeah, you're enjoying that one.
This is what I like. I don't like
light body cigars. Yeah,
light. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the Azul is actually a nice cigar. Although it's a light body cigar, is a morning cigar. It's not meant to be smoked through the day. So the idea behind the Azul is you wake up, you have espresso, and you smoke a cigar. We're talking about Spain, yeah? But I also recommend that, and I think I mentioned it on the video, as a beginner cigar. Because although it's light, it has profile, it has notes. So nicotine level is quite low, but there is a profile to it. There are notes that you can pick up. It's an entertaining cigar. It's not a boring cigar. But this is meaty. Are you picking up any notes?
Yeah, some pepper.
Spice.
Yeah, spice.
There's a cocoa, dark chocolate note to it. Really nice dark chocolate note. These are notes from my website, but also from the factory. This is what they intend. Spice, leather, and cocoa.
I got the spices and the cocoa.
Yeah, the cocoa is very pronounced, especially after, when you're talking and you get more oxygen in your mouth. I find that the cocoa notes come out really nice. It's a full body cigar, but it's a clean full body cigar. The notes are there, but nothing is very strong, nothing is very off-putting or anything. The construction is good, the ash is lovely, very, very light grey ash.
The draw is nice.
Yeah, I find that it's also a very relaxing cigar.
So Lizarda has all these amazing cigars on his website. I think he's a bit modest and he doesn't talk about it that much, but he goes and tries hundreds and hundreds of different cigars, and he procures the ones that he likes and to hand it to you. It is really nice, because I'm thinking out of the ones we've tried, and you've really picked some nice ones. Well done. Yeah.
Thank you.
Happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's hundreds and hundreds of cigars out there, and amazing cigars. But my idea with Toro Puro was bring cigars that are maybe not that known, or even the whole selection. I have Davidoffs, I have Arturo Fuentes and stuff, but the ones that I've selected are cigars that I think are enjoyed by a lot of people. Anybody who grabs one of these cigars will find something nice about it. In this cigar, for example, I find the cocoa, the chocolate note, something really enjoyable. The Andullo has a particular note. I can't really pronounce, tell you what it is, but it's a particular taste that, again, I've only found on that cigar. Like that throughout the whole range of the selection that I have on the website. I didn't want to put all the cigars in there. I just wanted to give a selection that whatever you buy there, as long as you stay within your strength, that your body can handle, light, medium, or full, you'll be able to enjoy any of them. But the ones that I'm bringing in, again, are just cigars that I think are unique.
Questions. Say, in your opinion, out of 100 cigars sold, how many would the women buy and how many would men buy?
Maybe 15% women, but it's growing. There's a few women-only cigar clubs. Obviously, the husband that brings the wife. There's a couple of brands that are being started by women, and there's obviously family brands that are being run now by women. So there is women in the business, and there are women smoking cigars, but it is mostly manly dominated.
What about the age demographic? Like, do you think what percentage would be over between, say, 20 and 40, and what percentage would be over 40?
I find that it's between mid-30s to early 50s.
That's the most.
That's where the peak is. You do get obviously older people or younger people, but in general, those are the main smokers of cigars. Absolutely. I find. Again, I don't have all the statistics from the website or anything, but when you go to lounges, when we go to cigar events, things like this, that's the age group. But women do tend to stay sometimes, from what I hear, from what I see, stay on the lighter side. But with the help of social media and all of these cigar clubs and women, they have Zooms and Instagram lives and stuff. They're also explaining it. And a lot of women, you can see them now smoking Habanos, regular cigars. It all comes to preferences. I particularly don't like full body cigar. I like something like this, but then you have stronger cigars. This is a I wouldn't say medium to full. It's a full body, but it's a low full body. It's not.
Okay, so are there any cigar brands which cater to women?
They're not really, no. There are cigars that have been made to target women, like maybe a pink band or something like this. Yes, but they're normal cigars. They're just like branded with pink or something like that, just to give it a bit of more of approachable stance. But for example, there's I got a friend in the US. She has an Instagram page. Maybe people here know her. Her Instagram is Remarkable Liz. She's from the Dominican Republic, and they've come out with a cigar, Noble Cigars, and her cigar is they're strong cigars, they're full body cigars, and she's the one behind the brand, and she's like, this is what I enjoy smoking, and there's no sex preference here. Like, if you enjoy it, you enjoy it, and we're working on something.
Wow.
But she's pushing her brand. She's hard working. She's been doing a lot of events and a lot of touring around the US because she's based in the US, and so we have found it a little bit difficult to make time where we could both do it. But I've reviewed her cigar in the channel. If I find it, I'll link it here. We can watch the review of those cigars. And again, it's a woman behind the brand, and she just makes a normal cigar for anybody. I think as well, because you asked me if there are preferences in general, I find here in the UK, for example, the older generation, I think it's because they grew up with smoking Cubans, Habano cigars. They do prefer the Cuban profile, and if they have a choice, they'll choose a Cuban before another cigar. But younger generations, we're happy to try and explore. Obviously, it all comes to like whatever you like. If you like a certain profile, you're gonna like that profile. But they're more experimental, and they're happy to try different regions.
So now that we are done with regions, so how are we going to review going forward?
My idea was we were also going to go through different strengths, but we kind of did that at the same time.
Can we do celebrity cigars? What celebrities smoke?
We could do cigars that like Arnold smokes or Jordan or things like that. Although most of these guys, they have their own cigars being made to them.
Yeah,
but they normally have a cigar that they like or something. We could do that. That would be fun. Let us know if you guys will enjoy a video like that. We will do a series of videos where we will just smoke cigars that, the favorite cigar from so-and-so.
Or if you have any ideas, leave it in the comments.
Leave it in the comment, yeah. Otherwise, my thought was we could try different cigar wrappers and concentrate on the cigar wrappers. So again, the cigar wrappers come from different regions and stuff, and that is something that a lot of people find that they prefer cigar from with a Connecticut wrapper or a Nicaraguan wrapper or things like this.
Or I was thinking we can make sure that we have covered all the sizes. Is this a Robusto?
We've done Lanceros, we've done a couple of Robustos, we've done a Toro, we've done a Pirámide, I think.
Have we?
And we done a short Robusto, which was I think one of the Cubans we did was a Pirámide.
The Enzo.
Cone. Sanso Pancha, I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, I have a really bad memory.
So is it like a torpedo would be a...
No, it doesn't really change the profile as much.
So we haven't done a torpedo.
I don't think we've done a torpedo, no.
Figurito is the...
Figurado
is not a torpedo.
It's basically the same on both sides, so it's pointy on the both sides. Figurado, then you have a double figurado, then you have...
Oh, I've never smoked one of those.
A double figurado?
Yeah, have you? Is it like two cigars intertwined?
Oh, no, that is the culebras, snakes.
Yeah.
So Partagas, the Habanos brand, they do... I'm not 100% sure, but I think they're the ones that started it. And the idea behind it is a cigar that you go and buy and you share with your friends. So each one gets one of the... So the cigars are thin.
You don't light it all together? No, I thought you...
Wow. No, man. They're meant for sharing. Or to smoke individually.
This is amazing. How can it all burn, like all the cigars burn at the same time without burning each other?
You smoke one by one.
Like impossible.
One by one. So they tied up with...
a ribbon.
Yeah, it's a ribbon, yeah. It's a ribbon. They tie that with a ribbon. So the cigars are rolled like lanceros, kind of. They're kind of thin and long like a lancero.
How flexible.
But when they're newly made, they're quite flexible. So they twist them in a way, and then they put the ribbon together. But when it comes to you, because it's been in that shape for a long time, when you take the ribbon off, it will keep that wonky, swervy.
Because it's dried. It
It's
was
dried
wet and then it's dried tight.
And it's been like that for a while now. And then you smoke a wobbly cigar, but they smoke fine. There's not a problem. You gotta do one by one though, not the whole thing.
No, I think we should do one of those for like a special episode, like a 100 episode. Or,
Yeah. So maybe something I was thinking we could do is we just had Habanos released a couple of cigars recently. We could give those a try. Those are the new releases, and it'd be interesting to see what's coming out new. Actually, they're doing the Habanos event. There might be another cigar coming as well. So there's a couple of new cigars we could try to stay up with the novelty of these new cigars, and then we might, in the meantime, I'll do the research because I will need to find out who smokes what, and try and get the cigar, because some of the cigars might not be in the UK, some are American brands or something. But yeah, that would be an interesting one. How are you enjoying the cigar?
Nice.
What are you? You're in the second third, middle of the second third? Maybe
half. No?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a bit too strong for me.
Really?
For this time of the day.
Yes. We smoke, midday.
I did have breakfast bad earlier, but still, I feel it's.
It's calming you down. You're a bit too relaxed now.
Yeah, and I fancy some alcohol, which I don't do. The sun is out.
Yeah. There are rules we have to stay. But no, it is a bit early, but it is enjoyable. Again, I don't feel like I need to put it down. I want to finish it, but I do feel the nicotine is a bit strong. I want to eat steak with this. Like, that's what I feel like, having a good lunch.
I think I enjoyed it better when I lit the cigars with the match.
Really?
It was nicer, yeah.
It is nicer. Maybe next time.
Maybe it's the ritual of, because it's got that different smell.
And it takes a little bit longer. You slow down a bit more, concentrate a bit more.
So maybe if I'm inside, I'm gonna light with the match.
With the match.
And back up with the lighter.
With the lighter. Yeah, because the problem with the match, the reason why I use the lighter and a jet lighter, is that with the match takes time.
And I've seen people they run the whole cigar over the match, but that's wrong.
Again, people do whatever they want to do, but you don't want to smoke that's to warm up the cigar. But as soon as you light the cigar and that heat is already going in, there's no need for
proper heat.
Yeah. It's like I did a video reacting to Arnold Schwarzenegger, because he was doing a video of how he enjoys his cigars. And he cuts it, blah, 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 big guy. And then he goes, I dip it in whiskey. And I'm like, again, you smoke however you want to smoke. There is no right or wrong way. But if you wanted your cigar to taste like whiskey, then just drink the whiskey don't mix them.
Yeah, but that's going to be only for a couple of draws.
Yeah.
Then it's going to...
But then your cigar is all wet, and then you have alcohol in it with...
Yeah, but I think that's just temporary. You do
yeah, it's not like it's going to taste like whiskey.
All the cigars. So
yeah.
He's a Hollywood actor. They've got all these,
gimmicky things. But the traditional way, or the way to enjoy the flavors that were intended by the blenders, is to just smoke it as it is. Take your time lighting it, take your time smoking the cigar, because there are oils in there. The more that you heat it, the more things that you put on it, you're going to change the profile. Again, if you want to dip it in whiskey, that's your thing, but...
So these the artists and performance types, they always have to be different, and they have their own things. Yeah, I had an uncle back home who was a famous actor, director. Yeah.
Really?
He was quite eccentric.
Okay.
For instance, he would keep his wad of cash in his sock. And I remember we would go out, and he was well known. And for instance, he would go to your cigar shop and buy some cigars. And when it came to payment, he would put his foot on the table. And that was his thing. He would boom, and would take out a big wad of cash and start paying people.
I like to recommend it And I like to do it myself, especially when trying a new cigar, because obviously the more that you heat it, the oils are gonna get warmer, and you might get flavors that you weren't intended to taste. But you know, I don't do all my cigars like this. Like when I'm working, when I'm editing or something, I just cut and light and just carry on. I already know what the cigar tastes like, so I'm not bothered. When I make the videos is when I take more of my time, so I can really pay attention to the profiles. But you know, once you start and you know how to do it, just do it your way.
I think as long as you don't ruin the cigar,
Yes.
and if you don't do it the proper way, I think it's going to be marginally different, as long as you haven't ruined the cigar.
So yes, the whole idea of not doing it wrong is so that you get a good experience, especially as a beginner. You don't want to burn the cigar too much, because then you're going to have bad notes and it might turn you off from smoking. But once you know what you're doing, you'll find your way, you'll find what you want to do, and just enjoy.
So this is the box for it, yeah?
Yes, they like to use the cedar boxes. They're all cedar boxes, and they come in packs of 25 on these ones.
Was it the same box for the Azul?
Yeah.
Yeah, same boxes.
Same boxes. So they come in 25s and 8s.
So you don't have the Rojo one?
No, I don't have the red one yet. The red one is also nice. Just haven't had the opportunity to bring them. But we have the black and the Azul. I thought it was a big... So what they've done is Azul is for the morning, Rojo is for lunch, and this is more of a late afternoon.
Construction was good.
And it's enjoyable all the way through. I really enjoy this. Yeah. It's a really nice cigar. Not just because of what I've been saying, but it's a nice cigar. And it's a boutique brand, so there's not many people smoking this.
And I think you can feel it's a handcrafted cigar. It's not that I say it's machine, but sometimes you go to the bigger brands and they're all like the same size banana, and this is a bit more authentic, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, the wrapper is a bit rough, but it doesn't mean that it's a bad quality wrapper. It's just that's how that leaf is. You find similar in other cigars as well.
We should visit the factory one time if we can, because if it's not that far away.
It's not that far. So if we go, we'll go together. It's just in La Palma, so maybe 4 hours from here. In Nicaragua, they did a cigar event just now, a couple of weeks ago. That was nice. That's a nice one to go. They take you through a lot of farms, factories. You get to meet all the makers, the blenders, the owners. So it's really, really nice. But then that one is like a proper trip. You know, you're going there. I think it's a whole week. And you have events and like a festival kind of thing. It's really nice. Well, we could go to this one.
Really spicy now.
The leather note is the one that I
don't know what the leather note is. So
I didn't pick it up this time. I have in the past. Again, it's a bit early. So the cocoa was really nice in the middle third. And now I'm getting more of the spicy notes, like you said. And it's spice, not spicy note. It's like some spice.
But I don't think it was high nicotine content.
Well, you know that moment that you said, yes, because it is early. Yeah. We're smoking it early.
Yeah, it hit, but no, usually I would feel it.
Yeah.
Like, and your mouth goes a bit tingly and.
Yeah, no, it's also nicely fermented, because if it's not well fermented, you feel it more. And sometimes people confuse ammonia with the strength of the nicotine, but this one had nothing like that going on. Some people say cigars are spicy. They confuse the spice with the ammonia. Yeah. Some people want to stay away from cigars that have spice or spicy or peppery notes, because they think it's badly fermented. No, there is a pepper note, there is a spicy note, but you can tell when the ammonia is there. It's a different note.
One thing I've noticed that the smoke is not as creamy as our other reviews. Is it because of the cigar or the circulation?
I think the circulation, because we're trying something else. Yeah, I find it a bit more dry, a bit more cedary. Yeah. How come I've smoked more today? Normally you're a bit faster.
Because I didn't want to faint. It was,
Oh, you took a little break, I did see,
Yeah, I did not that faint. I just found it a bit strong for the morning.
It was hitting you, yeah.
And it's funny because I didn't find the Rojo, the
Andojo?
Andojo that strong in the morning?
It depends what you eat. Also, the Andullo is a short Robusto, so it's a bit shorter than this. We would have finished by now.
So yeah, this
A little bit stronger.
Yeah, not recommended for the first thing in the morning.
Yeah, I've actually.
Well,
I
not
think this is the
thing,
first time
11:30.
This is the first time I smoke it so early. Normally I find it good, but yes, I am with you. It is it's too much for the morning for me. There are people who start the morning with a full-bodied cigar. Can't do that, man.
I'm personally not far away from that, but
Yeah. Or if you had a good breakfast. But I know a guy that just has a coffee with a strong cigar.
But I don't have breakfast. I don't eat until lunch.
But no, it's been a very nice, enjoyable cigar in my opinion. I don't know what you think of yours. Will this be a cigar you recommend?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely. Yeah, evening cigar with some nice spirit and a good meal. Really, I can't have any faults. I haven't found any faults with it.
Yeah, we had good construction, lovely ash. The amount of smoke that it produces is nice. The flavors are there, you know, because I say they're there because we're given a profile by the factory, and sometimes you can never pick up those notes. But
we did 2 out of 3, didn't we?
Yeah.
And you did the leather anyway, no? No, you didn't.
No, cedar as well. I picked up cedar. And yeah, they're nice cigar. Again, for an evening cigar, it's just a beautiful cigar. You want to give somebody something different, or you want to smoke something different yourself. This cigar is not just the branding, but the profile, the flavors, the way that it smokes, the story behind it is really nice.
Yeah, and I think because it's a European-made cigar, if some people are concerned about standards and
Yes.
you know where it came from, or like, you know,
labor cost and all. Yes, this is.
So yeah, this is safe to smoke.
Yeah.
Like that.
You don't have any issues like that.
Nobody's been abused for this.
Yeah, not that the other brands in other countries are abusing, but people always think, oh, but they're only getting paid so many dollars an hour. But that is the going rate. It's not that they're being slaved, it's just that they get paid less.
Well, the working environment is, I presume, would be different as well.
Nowadays is very regulated, because even the brands themselves, not all the brands have their own factories. Okay, so some factories are just there to make cigars for different brands. So not all the brands can control the factory, but what they do is they have standards.
So the main factories abide by those standards.
Yeah. So, you know, I have a big brand, whatever name, but I don't want my cigars being made by kids. Yeah. You know, as a matter of fact, a lot of the brands contribute to the local communities, building schools, or providing books and things like that. But nowadays it's not. Like, for example, the master blender from the one that used to be master blender for Davidoff, Eladio Diaz, I think he started when he was like 13 working in a factory. Some of these guys started like 12, you know, maybe the dad was already working there and they just come in and join them. That is not. I've been to the factory, that doesn't happen anymore. Thank you for coming once again.
Thank you for having me. That was great fun, Leonardo, yet again.
I hope you guys enjoyed this review, the conversation with Kurosh, his stories, his uncle's story was a good one as well. And we'll see you in the next one. We are going to see what we're going to smoke. Still debating what the next cigar is going to be, so make sure you join for that one and we will let you know then. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Kurosh, for coming. Subscribe and check out the other video here. Thank you.
See you later.